Advanced English Arabic Learning Session 88. Rebound relationships are believed to be short-lived due to one partner's emotional instability. Adonis is a small Eurasian butterfly, the male of which has vivid sky blue wings. Prolonged writing or typing can lead to hand cramping from overuse of the muscles. Prevent a wheel or other rolling object from moving or slipping by placing a wedge underneath. The Vietnam War, 959–975, was a major issue that the hippies vehemently opposed, 959–975. Hippie. Helper in promoting peaceful individual existence. Dentition affects how well food is masticated and absorbed. How you pucker your lips when you go to kiss someone. Among North American children, cooties are an imaginary germ with which a socially undesirable person. If you think bad weather at the zoo sounds like a buzzkill, you're right. We were having a great time at the party until Jim puked all over the floor. That was a major buzzkill. This amp is loud enough to make my ears buzz for a couple of hours on full blast. The flaccid wind did not stir the chimes on the front porch. Because of flaccid support, the bill will not be introduced in the upcoming legislative session. The local union is a flaccid organization that lacks the power to negotiate higher wages for its members. Police said they arrested Olivia because her statements did not add up. The yips is the colloquial term for a sudden and unexplained loss of skills in experienced athletes. The yips can also affect people who play other sports such as cricket. Charades is a game of pantomimes. You have to act out a phrase without speaking. Put a bell around my neck and scratch my belly, kids. Many innocent persons who suffer from disease, poverty, or persecution are living their purgatory now, and when they die, they go straight to heaven. Good people bypass purgatory and make a beeline for heaven. All her sins were forgiven and she would not need to go to purgatory. The average Christian spends 000 to 2000 years in purgatory. The Platinum Rule: treat others the way they would like to be treated. The Golden Rule: treat others as you want to be treated by them. The fairy tale ended by saying that the characters in the story lived happily ever after. An example of creed is faith in the Father, Son, and the Holy Spirit. Sarah can't get over her folliculophilia, a woman who is only attracted to men with a mustache. She has folliculophilia and can't stop staring at that guy with the bushy mustache. Diamond in the rough: one having exceptional qualities or potential but lacking refinement or polish. Many older people classified as right-handers were born lefties. You can freshen up a tired sofa by draping it with interesting fabric. We didn't think we could complete the project before the deadline, but somehow we pulled it off. Inflation was nibbling away at spending power. The natural bonhomie that characterizes Sarah has faded to a fixed grimace. Gauze can be used for cleansing, packing, scrubbing, covering, and securing in a variety of wounds. The more vigorous plants outgrow their weaker neighbors. He's outgrown his clothes. You can grow in your career without outgrowing your partner. If your partner resents your success and tries to keep you down, then you've definitely outgrown the relationship. She outgrew her fear of the dark. Students who comported themselves, behaved themselves, well in interviews. In the new film about Columbus, she plays the token buxom wench. Hemmed pants have the bottom fabric folded up inside the pant leg. Cuffs are turned up on the outside of the pants. Bimbo is an attractive but unintelligent or frivolous young woman. Unencumbered assets are houses free from mortgages and other liens. The woman was unencumbered to move on to any college she wanted. The streets are dangerous and there are too many weirdos around. As her health worsened, her daughters considered staging an intervention. Intervention, an occasion on which a person with an addiction or other behavioral problem is confronted by a group of friends or family members in an attempt to persuade them to address the issue. Mushy-gushy is to be very affectionate, often to the point of disgusting other people. Ulcers range from small, painful sores in the mouth to bed sores and serious lesions of the stomach or intestine. Bed sore is a sore developed by an invalid because of pressure caused by lying in bed in one position. He needs to be turned 6 times every night to prevent bed sore. Patients who cannot turn over in bed are prone to bed sores. Use pulses such as peas and lentils to eke out meat dishes. Pulse is the edible seed of a leguminous plant, for example a chickpea, lentil, or bean. What is brat diet for diarrhea for adults? The brat diet, which stands for bananas, rice, apples, and toast. Never boil brats in beer or any other liquid before or after going on the grill. Sappy old love songs. Sappy old love songs are mawkishly over-sentimental. Evel Knievel was the pioneer of distance motorcycle jumping. It's time for you to leave the house, she'll smother you if you remain. We had a fab meal and hours of great convo. Electrical gremlins are often difficult to locate, an unexplained problem or fault. A gremlin or goblin in my computer omitted a line. They say that everyone has a doppelganger. Our rural schools stack up well against their urban counterparts. PMS is a very common condition. Its symptoms affect more than 90% of menstruating women. Premenstrual syndrome, PMS, is a condition that affects a woman's emotions, physical health, and behavior during certain days of the menstrual cycle, generally just before her menses. Mastalgia is breast pain and is generally classified as either cyclical, associated with menstrual periods. Why don't you want to sleep with me anymore? 'Cause you're a cover hog. They certainly don't give everything to you on a silver platter. She started hemorrhaging while giving birth to the baby, bleeding. Because of the scorching temperatures in the Middle East country. Surrounding houses were scorched by heat from the blast. Janine is a horrible cook and tends to scorch anything she puts in a frying pan. What is a multiped? Having many feet and sometimes having more than 4 feet. It would be a bleak loss to literature if she were to cast aside her magic rod and end her revels too early. In the winter the landscape is bleak and the house is drafty. Anyone would get pneumonia living in the drafty old house. Backdrafts present a serious threat to firefighters. A downdraft, the odor goes right down the chimney, bringing soot and other noxious fumes. Soot is a black powdery or flaky substance consisting largely of amorphous carbon. The upward moving air in a thunderstorm is known as the updraft, while downward moving air is the downdraft. The fact that clover is a legume means that it actually makes its own nitrogen and fixes it in the soil. The difficulties that ensued from their commitment to Cuba. The problems of civilization are transposed into a rustic setting. The unblemished charm of rustic life has been a perennial source of inspiration for the painter. His playing is technically impeccable and bears a distinct stamp of his own charismatic style. Our native prairies has been plowed under or grazed away. The Pledge of Allegiance of the United States is an expression of allegiance to the flag. Until we sift the evidence ourselves, we can't comment objectively. A souped-up Ford with big rear wheels increase the power and efficiency of an engine. A souped-up racehorse means injected with a substance to make it run faster. Douchebag or simply douche are pejorative terms referring to an arrogant, obnoxious, or despicable person. A pickaxe, or pick is a generally T-shaped hand tool used for prying. Go commando or free balling means not wearing any underwear. To go commando means to go without pesky undies. To go commando means going sans underwear. A Grinch is someone who does not like having fun and does not want others to have fun. The purchaser should avoid asking for superfluous information. Syringe the leaves frequently during warm weather. Spray liquid over plants with a syringe. Douchebag, a small syringe for douching the vagina, especially as a contraceptive measure. I tip my hat to whoever invented the beer. A finch is a seed-eating songbird that typically has a stout bill and colorful plumage. Water cannons were turned on marchers and innocent bystanders alike. I was in my onesie watching TV, home clothes with cartoon characters. Do you want to go to a party? Yeah, I'm down, up for it. If a building or an area is like Fort Knox, it is impossible to enter or leave it because it is so well protected. Fort Knox is a U.S. Army installation in Kentucky. It is adjacent to the U.S. Bullion Depository. Fort Knox is used to house a large portion of the U.S. official gold reserves. Flappers were a generation of young Western women in the 1920s who wore short skirts, bobbed their hair, listened to jazz, and flaunted their disdain for what was then considered acceptable behavior. Growing up, girls were first called flappers from a fancied resemblance to the young ducks, neither fledgling nor grown up. Whatchamacallit, thingy, whatchamacallit, thing, hubajub, thingamabob, dojigger, gizmo. Thingamajig, noun, something that one does not know the name of. The headache I got was almost enough to make me swear off wine forever. With the eyes covered by a blindfold, he was led blindfolded into the woods. Don't let their hospitality blindfold you to the true purpose of their invitation. A deep-seated problem, feeling, or belief is difficult to change because its causes have been there for a long time. The meddlesome old lady continued to call the police on us every time she suspected we were having any fun. The newlywed's meddlesome mother was always involved in his affairs. Your take-home pay is the amount of your wages or salary that is left after income tax and other payments have been subtracted. The crimp on take-home pay has been even tighter since taxes were raised. Take-home pay is the pay received by an employee after the deduction of tax and insurance. He felt privileged to be under the tutelage of an experienced actor. Hear me out. I used to think that a family was a right. But it is not. It is a privilege and has to be earned. The picture was so circumstantial that it began to be convincing. The workers hit the pavement on Friday and haven't been back on the job since. Gargamel is a fictional character from the Smurfs. Gargamel is an evil wizard, the sworn enemy of the Smurfs. Your nape is the base of your neck, the spot where the back of your hair begins. Your neck of the woods is your neighborhood, town, or the area where you live. If you live in New Hampshire, you might describe the entire New England area as your neck of the woods. What brings you to this nape of the woods? How come you're here? Are teacup pigs high-maintenance pets? She had no plans to marry him, she was just stringing him along, mislead. The movie gave the world the catchphrase, I'm gonna make him an offer he can't refuse. Once a fish is on the hook, it's in big trouble, it's about to become dinner. They wanted me to come along for the ride, but I took a rain check. Do you mind if I take a rain check on that drink? I have to work late tonight. The pottery class instructor asked for a volunteer to knead the clay in a demonstration. He was unable to get through 2 consecutive sentences without a smutty double entendre. A double entendre is a phrase or figure of speech that could have 2 meanings. If I told you that you have a beautiful body, would you hold it against me? A double entendre. The minister was already mic'd up for the interview, equipped with a microphone. Slumlord is a landlord of slum property who charges extortionate rents. How long is a catnap? 15 minutes. Hipster is a person who follows the latest trends and fashions. A sloppy joe is a sandwich consisting of ground beef or pork, onions, ketchup. There is a Z breaking out on your forehead. The committee may co-opt additional members for special purposes. Dojo is a room or hall in which judo and other martial arts are practiced. She was rusticated for writing an atheistic pamphlet. A place to rusticate while other people made the decisions. News executives slobbered over him for autographs. The bill failed to gain traction in the Senate. We didn't get traction on this idea. If you want to sire a son when you lay with your maiden. Absolutely, informal, humorous, or childish, absolutely and positively. The end. Coming next. Session 89.